All right, I'm live, I think. Hello. Hi, Kelly. How are you? It's so good to see you. Oh, man. Oh, I'm having some camera trouble, but I will be on camera in just a minute. As soon as I figure that out, let me fix my YouTube. 1 second. There we go. All right. Oh, man. Oh, what's going on? All right. Oh, I'm excited for this live stream tonight. There's so much going on with this case. It's going to be really good to get to talk about it without having to worry about stuff. Because it's like, this is the rumor live stream, so anything goes. It's going to be fun. Oh. So, how are you guys doing? Hi, Ginger. How are you? Ginger, I've loved your comments. You've left some really interesting comments lately. Thank you for interacting like that. Oh, that's so cool to see. Hey, Laura, how are you doing? Oh, so I have some news. So much news. First, somebody in the Sofa Squad, and I'm not going to say her name because that's not fair without her permission, but I got a text that she was in the ER this morning with pneumonia. And certainly after what's happened, I freaked out. I went absolutely bonkers, stark raving nuts. But it's okay. It is not COVID. It's going to be fine. So I'm breathing again for the first time today. That's kind of exciting. Hey, Jess, I'm glad you made it. How are you doing? Hi, Lindy Richard. Nice to see you. Oh, so that was the first thing. The other thing, my husband's boss, they thought he had COVID. He's been out of work for 3 days and very sick. So we're freaking out, trying to get my husband a test. It's not easy to go get a test for COVID if you want one. It really isn't. It took him at least 8 hours to find someone who would give him a test. So he's got his test. We're waiting to get the test results back. But his boss did say that he was tested and he does not have it. So if his boss doesn't have it, then Dave should be fine. Everything should be okay. Oh my goodness. It's been a day, you know? And all I want to do is talk about Lori Vallow. So that is exactly what we're going to do. The other thing, I'm having issues with my camera. As soon as I get that driver done, I will be on camera because I did my face and everything. So I want to see you guys and talk to you. It's way more fun that way. They really do go up the nose, don't they? My husband was like, oh my God, that hurt. I'm never doing that again. I'm like, well, you may have to. Don't say that. But yeah, he said it was very uncomfortable. Hey, little Barb, how are you doing? I'm very glad to see you here. Oh, and the other thing, before I turn the camera on, okay, I have a little insecurity. I'm having a hair crisis. Right, back in December, I got my hair done in this kind of purpley color, which I thought was really pretty for about 2 weeks, and then I was like, nah, this has to go. So then I had it redone with a red on top of it. Okay, so it's just one of those things, and it was kind of a funky color for a while. But yesterday, I filmed a video for my Patreon channel outside in the sunlight, and the roots were like, "Oh, good grief, this is not acceptable." So I bought a just a box hair color because I'm not comfortable going to the salon yet. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to do that. So I said, "All right, I'll just do a box hair dye. How bad can it be?" Yeah. It's not a bad color, but my hair is probably 8 different colors right now. It's dry and poofy and it looks funny. So no hair comments when I go on camera. Just pretend it's not happening. So yeah, I cannot wait for this COVID thing to be over because I am totally getting my hair done, but not until I feel safe. So just one, I gotta turn off my phone or it's gonna be beeping this whole time. Okay, there it goes. All right, phone is quiet. Oh, so yes, my hair is hilarious. It's extraordinarily poofy, right? I tried pulling it up in a hair clip, because that's how I wear it when I'm just going about things, but it looks terrible that way. So I put it down and it's like, poof. It's like, all right, I'm a Leo, so we're gonna call this my lion's mane, and we're just gonna go with that. It's a weird color and it's poofy, so yeah, I'm gonna be a lion. And that's it. Young and hip. I'm 48 years old, and I'm starting to feel every one of those years. I tell you what. All right, so tonight we're going to dig into the rumors and the mysteries and the theories about the Vallow Daybell case. I have spent the last couple of days in deep contemplation about my theory, about how it all breaks down, how all the events all tie together, what happened to the kids, all of that stuff. And I think I've come together so far with the main thing of my theory. I have a few more pieces to fit into the timeline and to double check dates and things, do some research, but I have my idea of what I think happened. I'm going to share that tonight, and we can hash it out and, see what everyone else comes up with, and it's going to be cool. Oh. Laura, after my hair color today, I may end up going brunette just to cover this weird color. So, yeah. All right, here we go. We'll turn the camera on. 1, 2, 3. Hi! Oh, I look very washed out. My lights are kind of strange. Oh, well. Hi, everyone. I'm here for real. Yay! Oh, and my camera's freezing. When I look at the YouTube page, I look like my image is frozen. I don't know if you guys are seeing that too. I hope not. I look on StreamYard and it looks fine. Oh well. Let me know if the picture looks all frozen or not on YouTube. It could just be my YouTube. Hey, Charlie Hunt, how are you doing? Hi, Linda Birmingham. All right, so Lori Vallow rumors. It is freezing for you? It's perfect on StreamYard. I wish I could just show you my StreamYard face. I'm not sure why it's doing that. It's done that to me before. I have had a lot of internet issues since COVID because I guess with everybody home and everybody using the internet, my internet speed is just garbage. So, that has not helped. I'm going to lower the resolution. That might make it go a little bit better. Ooh, made me giant. Ooh, hello. Didn't mean to scare you. Hi, Paula. How are you doing? Kelly in Oregon. Laura. Mira, you guys don't know Mira S. That is my daughter. You may have heard about her in my podcast or referred to her as Maggie in the podcast. So that's my daughter. Hi, babe. I hope you're doing good in the other room because I haven't seen you in so long. But all right. Let's focus here. We've talked about my hair. We've talked about Jess. We've talked about my day. Let's talk about Lori Vallow's day, because I bet she's not having a good day, is she? I hope not. So one of the first rumors that I've heard, and I can't find any reference to this, right? So I'm not sure where this rumor got started. It's not on the Reddit board. It's not in the Facebook groups that I'm in. So maybe it's some YouTuber or something somewhere. Somebody said that Chad Daybell is possibly connected to another murder, not the ones we know about. All right. So not Tammy, Charles, the kids, that kind of stuff. Has anyone else heard that? And if you've heard it, what do you think of it? Do you know what the source is or what murder they could be talking about? Because I want to know. I really want to know. So I'm waiting for comments to come up so I can see if anyone's heard of that one. Yeah, the picture seems to be moving a little bit better now that I put it at a lower resolution. Yeah, Elysian Fields, you read that? Do you know where you read it? Did you read it like on a Reddit board or something? Because if that's true, I want to dig into that pretty hard, but I can't find a reference to it anywhere. Kiplin Davis. Kiplin Davis. All right, I'm going to Google that just so I have it open for later. Kiplin Davis. I can type. I used to be able to type. All right. Someone who disappeared. A 15-year-old student who disappeared from a high school in Spanish Fork, Utah. Featured on the Poly Class Foundation. All right, that's something I'm going to do some digging into. That's very interesting. Very curious. Yeah. Yeah, sad case. They never have found her body. I'm like, maybe they should keep digging in his yard. Honestly, Paul and I were joking about this, but how many bodies are they going to find? Are they going to find a whole graveyard? I wouldn't have been too surprised if they found 4 or 5, 6 bodies in his yard. They didn't. They said they only found 2. So, all right, let's go with that. But I would not have been surprised if they had found more because it's getting scary. So, Ginger, you lived right across the street from where she disappeared? Oh, my goodness. Huh. Yeah. Hi, little Lady Di. How are you doing? Yes, I will have to dig into her missing case story, and then we'll have to find where the connection is between her and Chad, because there must be one, or unless someone's just making up stories. But all right, next, Angel brings up Emma. Emma is Chad's daughter, Emma Murray. She is married. She's Chad's adult daughter. She used to live across the street from Chad, but since this event, she has moved into Chad's house. Now, there is a lot of rumor and speculation about this. What I think about it is I think they maybe deeded the house to her, so it would be in her name to protect that asset from anyone going after asset forfeiture because of, Chad being in jail and all these charges that we know are coming. We know it's not just the little charges he has now. That's what I think. Or maybe she's just heartbroken. Maybe she, that's the house her mother lived in and her mother died in. Maybe she just needs to be in there, or, there could be a lot of things. But logically, my hair is driving me nuts. Logically, I think that it was more an asset protection type thing. They deeded the house to her. Now it's in her name. It's safe, and maybe she lives there. Who knows? Charlie, I know you say they don't appear heartbroken. However, there was a YouTuber who went to the house, which I think is totally wrong. It's invasive. It's not okay. Tyler, what is his name? I wrote it down somewhere. Tyson Draper, right? And he talked to one of the sons out there. Now, imagine this. You're out there in the driveway. Your dad's been arrested. There's dead bodies in your yard. All this stuff is going on. And some random person walks up to you from the street with a camera in your face and starts asking you questions about your mom. I would probably punch them or something, but Chad's son was there, Garth, and he was very nice and very polite and open and talked to the guy. And it was like, that's surprising, right? So let's not demonize Chad's children, to think that they're heartless and cruel and whatever. They're probably scared and confused and terrified right now. Plus they were indoctrinated by their dad for many years, and we know that's not an easy thing to get over. So yeah, I have very more sympathetic feelings towards Chad's children and the position that they find themselves in. But I guess we're going to find out more as this goes on. But yeah, Emma moved into the house. We don't know why. Garth was around there. Garth actually, now the whole move thing, people are questioning the timing of the move. Now, on the Reddit board, where people do some pretty deep dives into this stuff, someone said, again, this is rumor, that Garth had rented a U-Haul truck for June 5th. Right, so that would have been 4 days before the search, but then canceled it. Okay, so they think that this move might have been planned ahead of time. This wasn't just a spontaneous thing. So that's possible. We don't know, but there is that. Hi, Sweet Crazy. How are you doing? It's nice to see you. Stormy, you made it. Yay. I made it too. My MCT oil adventure has calmed down. Oh. So, yeah, those kids, they have some rough times. So I don't have a lot of ill will towards Chad's children. I hope that they wake up and realize that they've been under this spell for probably their whole lives, and they have a lot of reconciling to do with that. But I hope they will accept the truth, when it comes out, and do the right thing. We'll see. We will see. No, Stormy, I would not want to live there. I wouldn't. If that was the home that my mother died in, okay, I could live in the home that my mother passed away in, to feel close to her and things like that. But if there had been dead bodies in the backyard, no, I would not want to live there. If it was an asset protection thing, okay, deed it to me, but that doesn't mean I need to live there, and then I'll sell it or something, But yeah, I would not move in there. But then again, we don't know their financial situation. Chad, Fox 10 News in Utah, I think, or Idaho, I don't know. One of them ran a story talking to some local bail bondsmen, and they say they don't think Chad can meet bail because he doesn't have enough assets behind him for a surety bond. So maybe there's a money issue. Maybe Emma can't afford the house that she lived in. So, well, obviously Chad's going to be away for a while, so let's use his house. We just don't know. We don't know. So I don't think that's anything really sinister that she moved in there. Fox 13 in Utah. Okay. Yeah. So who knows what happened? Let's see. Mira says that my mother's basement always feels creepy. It really does. That's a spooky place. Yeah, he needs $100,000 in cash and then $900,000 worth of equity or something to put as collateral, and he doesn't have that. So, no bail bondsman is likely to touch him as a result of that story. So that's kind of good news. I don't want him getting out of jail. I don't know about you guys, but I think he should stay there for good. So there's the rumor about Emma and the rumor about the other murder. We definitely have to look into that. I'm going to keep that name Kiplin Davis up, and we'll do some deep digging because that could be pretty interesting. The next one, which we kind of already hit on, Tyson Draper talked to Garth Daybell. I had some weird feelings about this. At first, when I saw, YouTuber talks to Chad's son in his driveway, I was like, oh, come on. Don't do that. I've been doing a lot of stuff with Paul over the last year and true crimey things. And one thing I've always held to is cover the case. Don't involve yourself in it. You know what I mean? Do not get involved with the families. Do not start calling people. Do not try to get friends and family members on your live stream to dish about it. To me, not to everyone else, but to me, that's a line that I don't want to cross ever. I don't think it's right, and I have a problem with it. So when I first saw that post about his video, I was like, oh no, come on, here we go again, But then I watched it, and Tyson was very respectful and very nice. He said that he had visited Tammy Daybell's grave, and had left a card there and stuff, and talked to Garth, and Garth was very receptive and warm and open, and it was a really sweet encounter, right? I was like, oh, I enjoyed their interaction. It seemed very positive, so that was good. I like that a lot. You're glad he spoke to more of you. I have not watched any of his other videos. I'm not really focusing on the Morphew case, but for me, and just for me, as a YouTuber, I would never reach out to a family member or friend of somebody involved, especially in an ongoing case. In an old case, sure, maybe, but in an ongoing case, absolutely not. To me, that just seems like a really bad idea, but that's just me. So that's my personal opinion. Tammy Daybell's statement. The wording absolutely makes it seem like they think it was murder. They are looking for justice. Now, remember, Tammy Daybell's family, aside from Chad's kids, I don't know how much the police are keeping them in the know because of their position with their father. But Tammy Daybell's family knows a lot more than we do about the autopsy, the exhumation, and all those things. Now, remember that when they exhumed her body on December 11th, the day before Alex Cox died, interestingly enough, then only a couple weeks later, 3 weeks later, January 3rd, they had enough information to secure a search warrant for Tammy's house. Okay, so they got something out of that exhumation quickly enough to get them a search warrant for the house. So they go to the house, they do the search warrant, which is sealed. We don't know what they were looking for. And they take 43 items. That's the number that they gave us of items they collected in the house. We don't know what they are. It's all under seal, right? So December, she was exhumed. January, they do the search. In April 9th, I believe, law enforcement came out and said they are looking at Chad and Lori in connection to Tammy Daybell's death, right? And they were looking at conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, and murder. That's a big deal. And that kind of went under the radar. People weren't screaming up and down about this, but that's a pretty big deal. So whatever is happening with her autopsy that is technically not finished yet, right? They got enough information out of it and the search so that their investigation has advanced where law enforcement, if they're looking at Tammy and Lori, my goodness, if they're looking at Chad and Lori through the guise of murder and attempted murder and conspiracy in regards to Tammy Daybell's death, then obviously law enforcement is considering that Tammy Daybell was murdered, right? logic. That's a big deal. And I'm pretty sure Tammy's family knows more about what's going on in that investigation than we do. And I think they know she was murdered. Now, I heard an interesting tidbit, another rumor today about Tammy Daybell. One of the neighbors was talking about Tammy Daybell before she was murdered. Said her behavior was funny. She was acting strange. She seemed really stressed, and normally she didn't seem stressed. So they were saying things like that. But they also said the scene was weird when we found her. There was pink foam coming out of her mouth. And I'm like, I've never heard that before. Have any of you heard that? That they found her with pink foam coming out of her mouth? Nope, that was new to me. Now, this is a neighbor chatting with a news reporter, so who knows about the authenticity or veracity of that statement. But if it's true, that's very curious, because when you think of foaming at the mouth, you immediately go to overdose, right? Was she drugged? Was this an overdose? But it could also mean, it could be a cardiopulmonary event. Right, when you aspirate blood like that, you can get pink foam on the mouth. It could have been something like that, a rough heart attack with a seizure or something. So it doesn't automatically, no, Laura, it doesn't automatically mean poisoned or overdose, but it certainly can. It certainly can. So if that's true, I want to know. So yeah, foaming at the mouth, that's not usually a good sign, but that's from one of the neighbors. So it's total hearsay and conjecture, nothing at all like that from authorities. But they say that the scene was weird when we found her, meaning the neighbors found her. I would have assumed Chad found her, but maybe the neighbor was there and saw it. We don't know. Maybe it's something Chad just threw out for random information, telling other people. No idea where that information comes from, that the neighbor got it. Did they see it in person, or did they hear about it? Yeah, sweet crazy. It's not every heart attack, even a violent heart attack, is going to foam in the mouth. But if there's aspirated saliva and anything pink is blood. And I did look this up today and spell it because I was like, what does that mean? It can be from like a pulmonary embolism or something like that. So it can be a cardiopulmonary event. But the first cause it listed was overdose. That seemed to be the most common thing for foaming at the mouth type deals. So who knows? But I bet the police know. Mm-hmm. If that's a true statement, then I'm sure the police are aware of it. So hopefully they will see. Wasn't Alex foaming at the mouth? Angel, I think that too. I do believe that he said that the Alex had foam around his mouth. So is this a thing? Now let's talk about Charles. Charles was shot, so that's different. But what about Joe? Joe Ryan died of a heart attack. And Joe Ryan was assaulted by Alex Cox. Alex Cox admitted that in court. So we know that Alex at one point tried to kill him. And Joe died of a heart attack. Was he foaming at the mouth too? Is this going to be like a big thing now? Because that would make me think poison or something like that, Yeah, Charlie, if she did have a PE, they would see it on an x-ray. Remember, Chad did not let them do an autopsy after she died, which is why they exhumed her body. So if they exhumed her body and it was still in a state enough where they could find those things, they know. They just don't want to tell us yet, which, I really want to know. Can they just tell us a little bit? But we don't deserve to know. How did Joe die? Joe, they say he had a heart attack, myocardial infarction. That's all we know. I remember the time. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's in my timeline of when he died. But he died a while after Alex Cox had assaulted him. Actually, quite a few years after. I think 2009 to 2012 or 11, something like that. Alex assaulted him, and they went to court over it. And Alex pled guilty and served 90 days in jail. Really, you get 90 days in jail for attempted murder? But whatever. And then at one point, I think it's 2011, when Alex, that case sort of resolved, Alex had to pay $5,000 in restitution to Joe, and he was sentenced to probation. So, We know that Alex tried to kill him. All right, so Joe died many years later then. All right. Yeah, 2011 was the probation hearing, that kind of stuff. But they say that Joe just died of a heart attack. But then again, nobody would have been too suspicious of Joe's death because that was before Charles. It was before Alex. It was before the kids went missing. So I think Joe was the first. That's my theory on that. They did an autopsy after. There might be remnants of it. Are you talking about Tammy? They did an autopsy after they exhumed her in December, yes. And they say that the autopsy is still ongoing. They're still testing and stuff. I don't know if that's true, but they did exhume her body and do the autopsy, but they have not released any of the information. But if she had a PE, they will find it. They will find maybe toxicology if she was poisoned or had an overdose. So, but even the neighbor in his statements to the local news reporter said, we were surprised he didn't get an autopsy. And it was really weird because she was a healthy, normal person, just died all of a sudden. So, yeah, it's very curious. But, yeah, lots of people in these people's orbit tend to die. It's a little creepy. All right, now, another rumor. This one. Lori freaked out in jail and started destroying prison properties when she found out. Source? Who would know that? Let's start with who would know that. Prison guards on duty, maybe the warden, a cellmate. Lori has a cell by herself, so it wouldn't be a cellmate. So who would know that information? A prison guard, right? Do you think the prison guards are telling people on YouTube? I don't think so. That has happened in another really big case, and that didn't end very well. It turned out the person who was pretending to be a prison guard was lying on YouTube, talking about a case that they had no business talking about. But it got so bad that the local police department had to come out and say, this person has never worked at the jail. This is not a real thing. No, right? So, let's hope that's not happening again. But, I'm checking on. Your bet is on an air embolism. An air embolism for who? Alex? Tammy? Yeah, Alex was cremated. I think. Alex was cremated. Was Joe cremated too? Possibly. Yes, as far as the Lori freaking out in jail, nobody would have that information that would be giving it to YouTube. All right. If she did freak out when she was told, it should be on camera. I'd assume there's a camera watching her all the time. Maybe someday we'll get video of that. I would probably pay to see that. They should put that on pay-per-view. I would pay to see it, wouldn't you guys? But, that's not a substantiated truth. It's nice to think about. It really is. But it also doesn't really fit. Have you ever seen Lori freak out? She's been confronted by media and she's been in courtrooms and all this stuff. And she always does that smug little, with her Skittles lipstick. So I don't think she freaked out. But also, interesting, a lot of people are saying that she freaked out and went crazy when they told her the news. Are the same people saying that Lori was the one that leaked? Do you see a problem there? If she was the one that flipped on Chad and leaked the information, then why would she freak out when he got arrested? Isn't that what she would have done it for? See, so, yeah. There's some problems with some of these rumors. They kind of clash at certain intersections. So, yeah. Chad and Tammy both shot a day after they were supposed to. A day after they were supposed to what? What? Hi, Margie. How are you doing? It's nice to see you. Yeah, but one of the other prisoners told who about it? That kind of story about Lori freaking out in jail is something that you really have to take with an enormous grain of salt, like a mountain of salt. Unless the prison produces a video showing it happened, it will always be hearsay and conjecture. So, Laura, I would believe in most cases, people that are married don't have to testify against each other. That's true. And they may not have to testify against each other because they may have completely separate trials and not be called as witnesses in each other's trial. I think they'll have enough information to do that. I hope. If not, they have the that little marriage clause thing. How could she leak? She couldn't. Yeah, Stormy, she could not leak the information without implicating herself. Absolutely not. It'd be funny if they didn't tell her at all. If she showed up in a cell next door. Yeah. But I mean, remember we had video of Casey Anthony when she was watching the TV when they discovered Kaylee's remains, so we could see her reaction on video. That was fascinating. And maybe there is a video of Lori reacting when she found out, and maybe someday we'll get to see it, because either Lori will be like shrugged and go back to her cell, or she did freak out, or I don't know. It would be very interesting to see how she reacted. Very telling too, I think. So. All right, who do we think leaked? What do we think happened? Jess said she doesn't think Lori leaked it. I do not believe for a second that Lori leaked. Not for a second. Charlene, hi, I hope you're doing good. It's so good to see you. Yeah, the background, that's my background from Emily. I love it. Hi, Zelda, how are you doing? I hope you're doing all right. I've been thinking about you. I believe that Lori is in her own cell, but I believe the cells are, like Charlie said, in a pod. So there's like, if you've ever seen that show, what's that new prison reality show that's up? It's kind of like there's an area where there's a bunch of cells, but they all open into a common, like a day room area. So you're by yourself, but you're not like way off by yourself. There's still people around them and next to them, and they interact during the day. So, all right, yep. Zelda says the neighbors called about some bonfires. Yep, that's true. They did. A lot of people are saying Lori did it. We can talk about that. One of Chad's children may have did. There's those kinds of things. What I think happened. Now, let's talk about the bonfires. Because first, man, like we need another bonfire case like we need holes in our head, for real. Some people heard the word bonfire and immediately jumped to, oh my God, he burned the bodies. No one said that. No one said he burned the bodies. Is it possible? Of course it is. But think about it. Think about it. They were there that morning. By afternoon, they knew that they had 2 sets of children's remains because they arrested him early in the afternoon on those exact charges with the dates that Tylee and JJ went missing on the arrest affidavit. Okay, so they knew very early on in the day that they were dealing with Tylee and JJ's remains. If he had burnt them to a crisp in a bonfire, that would not have been able to happen. All right, that they would not have been able to process bone fragments and charred fragments that quickly to have come up with those charges with those specific dates early that day. Okay, so let's kind of, just take it logically. It's quite possible he burned them, but it certainly does not appear that based on how quickly they found the remains and how quickly they made that identification and how quickly they got those charges with those exact dates in place. And they knew that there were 2 sets of remains, right? It would have taken a lot of sifting and sorting and DNA analysis and forensic photography and all kinds of stuff to put charred skeletons back together to see how many they had, how old they might have been. Watch bones. That would have taken a long time. They could not have done that on the fly in the field and come up with, oh, this is Tylee and JJ, so let's charge him. So I don't think they were burned. That's my personal opinion. I think he may have burned their stuff. Like, where's all their clothes and toys and books and book bags and all that stuff? That's maybe what he was burning. But the neighbors did make a report that they saw a big bonfire in the fall. And I think they said 3 bonfires this spring. And they said that wasn't really normal for him. But there's a giant fire pit, if you look in the pictures. So I don't know. I don't think it was quite all that unrealistic for him to have a bonfire. But yeah. Anyway, so that's what I think about the bonfire side of things. I think it might be important, and they certainly had the grid lined out all around the fire pit, You know, they had the big square around the fire pit and then several others. So they certainly searched that very closely. And they wouldn't have done that for no reason. So the bonfire is an important part of this. Now, the people that say that Lori flipped on him, I don't see that happening. She does not seem to be the least bit concerned about this case at all. Has she ever? All the times you see her on camera or in court, she's always just like, la la la. I'm in Hawaii. I'm going to the beach. La la. What are you bugging me? She does not seem even remotely concerned that she may be in prison for life for murdering her children. Either she believes that what they did was completely justified or something, but I don't think that she would have flipped on Chad, because like everyone else is saying in chat, she absolutely would have implicated herself in that too. They were her kids, not Chad's. You know, so if Chad did something, then she would have known and it would have been her kids, and it's too much of a mess. You know, I can't think of a logic stream where she could have done that. I suppose it's possible. Anything's possible. These guys are nuts, you know. Jess, you're right. We do not know. And now, interesting. Wait, here's a story that came from Annie Cushing today. Annie Cushing was Joseph Ryan's sister and Tylee Ryan's aunt. All right. Annie Cushing said today in a public post, please remember that neither set of remains found in Chad Daybell's property have been officially proven to be Tylee or JJ. And I'm like, but you've been posting stuff that it was. She's like, no, the family was notified that they believe, they're confident that it is Tylee and JJ, but it has still not been forensically proven to be them. Okay, I don't think it could be anything else, but Annie Cushing said that today, so it's probably important to pass along. But we don't know if they were buried at the same time. We have no idea. All we know is the last known sighting of Tylee was September 8th. The last known sighting of JJ was, now, I thought it was September 23rd because she pulled him out of school on the 24th. But the arrest affidavit for Chad says the 22nd. So there's a confusing thing there. I'll have to dig into that and see why the discrepancy. But Tylee was last seen on the 8th at Yellow Spark, and she was there, as far as I can tell, with Lori, Alex, and JJ. All right, and the next time either of them is seen, the last time JJ was seen was September 22nd, according to the arrest affidavit. So they could have been buried at different times. But do you want to hear my theory about when they were buried? I have a theory, and it's just a theory, okay? It is just a theory. But here's what I think happened. Because, you know, I put that timeline together, just a factual-based timeline. I didn't put any of my own opinions or thoughts into that because I wanted to just see it laid out like a map, all right, and then try to see what it all meant when you string it all together. Here's what I think what happened. We know that in January of 2019, we have to go all the way back there, January of 2019, Charles and Lori were having big problems. Big problems. One night, Charles called the police on Lori. They were having issues at home, and he tried to get the mental health order to have her held on a psych hold for 72 hours. Right? And there's an interview with him and the police and getting that done. The next day, Lori goes to the police department with Melanie Gibb. Remind me to talk about Melanie Gibb, and Tylee, and they sit in the police department and tell the police that Charles stole her purse out of her car, and he's a bad man. So the police are like, okay. So they called Charles. They're like, excuse me, sir, did you take your wife's purse? He's like, yeah, because she took $35,000 out of our account, and I wanted credit cards. And excuse me. And the officer's like, sorry, you can't do that. That's a civil matter, so we have to deal with this because you can't steal someone's purse. That's a criminal matter. Bring the purse back. Right, so Charles like, all right, fine. He's going to bring the purse to the police station. But in the meantime, he tells the officer, she's supposed to be in on a psych hold. I have the mental health order. And the officer's like, oh, well, I don't have that. And Charles like, I'll bring it with me. Right? So the cop hangs up from Charles, and the two of them are like, this is going to get interesting. It's like, yeah. So they go back in and talk to Lori, Melanie, and Tylee. And this part bothered me because Tylee really was on her mother's side. Okay. I'm not sure if that's a case of, Tylee just wanting to please her mom, or if she really did have issues with Charles. That's something I don't know. But Tylee was very much on her mother's side in this meeting with the police. But the police officer was like, you know what? Charles is going to bring your purse back, but he says he has a mental health order ordering you to go to this place. And she's like, oh, imagine that. Ha, ha, ha. And the officer goes, but listen, I can't hold you until I see that order, so you're free to go right now. And Lori's like, oh, okay. And the officer's like, no, listen, you're free to go right now. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. So yeah, the officer is trying to hint to her, go now, because I can't hold you right now. Does she go? No, she sits there because, but he really seemed to be trying to get her to go. So that whole mess happened in the end of January, 2019. Now, February 2019, Lori and Tylee show up back in Hawaii at April Raymond's house. April was her friend when she was there in 2014. And April says, well, she was very different. Tylee seemed depressed. She was talking really weird stuff. I didn't like this at all. And it seems like they stayed there for a couple months. Now, at this time, the family didn't know where Lori and Tylee were. JJ was home with Charles in Arizona. All right. So all of this is happening January, February, March, April. And then we come up to the fall. But remembering all this crazy stuff in the back of my head, when I get to the fall, yeah. But Charlene, imagine, right? Remember me to go back to the fall. Imagine that officer today, right? No, the guy who sat there and was trying to get Lori to go before he had to hold her on the psych hold. Imagine what he must be thinking right now. Like, wow, that girl, Tylee, was sitting there right in front of him within arm's reach of him. If he had listened to Charles, because Charles was really, really trying to make a point with the police the night before about how crazy Lori had become, and he was scared for himself and for her and for the kids, and the police were like, whatever. And imagine you're that officer today looking at the news, right, knowing that Tylee was within your reach, and you just blew it off, right? Can you imagine what he must be feeling? That's got to be bad. And I hope maybe it'll be a lesson. Don't blow that stuff off. Take it seriously, But obviously he didn't believe Charles. He even said to Lori, you don't seem like you're a harm to yourself or anyone else. Ha ha ha. Pretty blonde lady. But yeah, that was bad. That was bad. All right. So not only that, after seeing the video of Charles that night with his bishop, then he's killed. Yeah, definitely. All right, so we get to the fall. September. We know in September, Lori, Melanie Boudreau, before she was married to Ian, Alex Cox, and the two kids all moved to Rexburg. Right now, there's some weird information. It sounds like a lot of the times Alex is living with Lori in her apartment, but somebody else says no, he has his own townhome next door or across the way, and Melanie has her own apartment next door to Lori. All right, so they're all living right there together. They go on this trip to Yellowstone, and they come back. Tylee disappears. All right, and next thing, JJ disappears. Now, Melanie has said, oh, I was living right next to him, but I didn't see the kids. I just thought, JJ was at treatment and Tylee was working or with friends, and it was normal. Come on, man. We'll get to Melanie Boudreau. But here's what I think happened. Let's remember, Lori rented a storage unit on October 1st, right? We've got the documents. We've got the video footage. We know about the storage unit. October 1st, she rented that. So it would have been 8 days after JJ was missing. Now, Tammy Daybell died on October 19th after returning from a trip to Utah to see her family that Chad pushed her to do. I didn't get that, why that was important, until I started really looking at this. So the kids are missing in September. 1st of October, Lori rents a storage unit. Shortly after that, Chad convinces Tammy to get out of the state for a while. And we know the children were buried in his yard. Do you see where I'm going with this? What does that sound like to you? Why did they need a storage unit? Now, remember, we have the video of them, her and Alex, and I think Chad at least once, coming in and out of the storage unit. Some of those visits, they were carrying the giant 50-gallon totes, and one of that Lori was really struggling with that looked pretty heavy. Now, granted, Tylee was probably 120 pounds. JJ was about, what, 50? Maybe they needed somewhere to stash the bodies until they could get Tammy out of the state and have free reign of the yard to get the bodies buried. Tammy comes back, and Tammy changed her personality when she got back. Like, she knew something was up. You know, the neighbor said she was, just not happy. Did that start a fight? Is that why Tammy's no longer with us? So that's what I think. Is that Alex and Lori killed the children together, hid their bodies, eventually had to stash them in the storage unit, maybe because, decomposition and stuff. Waited till Chad got Tammy out of the state, buried them in her yard, took off to Hawaii. They didn't take off right away because it was the end of November when the police did the wellness check. So they were, the month of October and November there. 50-gallon totes. There wasn't a seat top. I'm not sure what it was, Zelda. When I watch it, it looks like she's got her two hands like this, carrying what looks like one of those big, thing. It was a seat? Okay. All right, well, there goes my theory about the storage unit. But it seemed to me like, ooh, if those were totes, then maybe that's because can you imagine how they would have buried the bodies in the yard while Tammy was home? Tammy either had to have been really out of it or not the type to go out and look at the yard or something. Chad declared Tammy a zombie. Yeah. Yeah, the zombie thing started with Chad. Lori may have been the one who said the kids were zombies, but she got that whole zombie thing from Chad. Chad said that Tammy was a zombie. He said somebody else too. Was it Alex? No, not Alex. I think Alex or Lori said Charles was a zombie, maybe Lori. But there was somebody else too that Chad specifically named as a zombie. Right, Charlene, Chad sent her to go and really convinced her, go visit your family in Utah. So if she left on the 4th of October and not back till a couple days before the 19th, so she was gone for quite a while. So they had a couple weeks there where Tammy wasn't around. So what we have to figure out is when those children were put there, and how long after their disappearances did they end up there? Where were they in the meantime? Who put them there? There are so many questions. There really are. My husband could bury 10 elephants in our yard. I wouldn't have noticed or heard. 4 acres. Yeah, 4 acres is pretty big. Their lot doesn't look like 4 acres, though. But then again, the house is over here. Then there's the barn. And they were digging over here. So if she didn't wander the yard regularly, she may never have seen it. Plus, that was right before winter. So once the snow came, they didn't have anything to worry about, Yep, it could freezers or something. Who knows? But there's a lot of questions that we're going to get the answers to that are not going to be pretty. So, yeah. But with the information that we have now, what I'm really leaning towards is Lori and Alex together harmed the children and then worked with Chad to bury them in his yard. I think Chad absolutely knew. I think he pushed the fact that the kids were zombies. I think he wanted them out of the way because he wanted Lori's attention all to himself. I think he volunteered his yard. Sure, he probably helped them bury the kids. I'm not at all saying that Chad isn't squeaky angel here at all. But Yeah, it sounds plausible, but my husband also came up with 3 other different versions that sound equally plausible. I'm like, no, go with mine. This is what we do. This is why I've been up till 4 o'clock in the morning every night this week, because we'll just start talking about a new fact. Like, wait, I just heard this. Well, how does that change that? And then we just get into this weird sleuthing conversation. Next thing you know, the sun's coming up. It's like, oh goodness. Yeah, I can't let go of trying to figure out what happened. My husband, he's so funny. He's like, I do not like this true crime stuff. I don't want to hear it. But then every night he likes to watch an episode of Midsummer Murders. I'm like, I thought you don't like crime. What you doing? He's like, well, I like this one because it's in England. I'm like, whatever. But if I get going about a case, right, and I start talking to him about it, he'll sit and listen. He's a great listener. My husband loves to just listen to me rant. God bless his heart. But if I give him enough information, his brain starts going. He's like, oh, wait, have you thought about this? And sometimes he comes up with some really insightful stuff. That's fantastic. It's really great to have my life partner there to bounce all this stuff off to. And he'll listen to me all night long until I stop talking and go to sleep. I can't ask for anything more than that. He's wonderful. But he does have some good ideas. This case makes him so angry. Mainly because of the whole crazy wackadoodle religious stuff. That's something he's always been fascinated by. So he's really into this case, Let me read it. He was going to put a mobile unit out there, but the town council refused the application. Oh, like a RV mobile home type thing? Is that what he wanted to put out there? Huh. Interesting. Wonder why they would refuse the application. That's a pretty decent piece of land. Maybe he wanted to get a mobile home out there for Lori. Can you imagine trying to explain to Tammy why he wanted to move his mistress into the yard? Man. Oh man. Okay, that's like a mobile home thing. Huh. Interesting. Chad was a gravedigger. He was a gravedigger. And there's an interesting side story to that. He did work at a cemetery as an actual gravedigger. There is a picture of him digging a grave at the cemetery. You know what? I can show it to you because I can share screen. In case y'all haven't seen it. Give me a second to find it. My folder of Daybell related documents and images has gotten so big that I can't easily just scroll through it and find a picture. Where'd it go? You think I would title it Chad Digging a Grave, but I didn't. All right, I'll have to find it later. But there's a photo online. If you Google it, you probably find it of Chad digging a grave. He worked at the cemetery, right? And remember, he liked to write stories about his near-death experiences and his dreams and all of that. One of his stories was that when he was working at the graveyard, it was haunted. Right, the graveyard was haunted by a spirit of someone called Eddie. And this Eddie had been a robber in his real life. And one thing Eddie did in real life before he died was he always broke locks. Right, that was his MO. And every night when Chad would leave and come back to work the next morning, the lock that was on the gate to where they kept like the backhoe and stuff would always be broken. And Chad decided one day, in his manliest of manly voices, that he was going to confront this spirit and tell him to stop. So he confronted the ghost and say, stop breaking the locks. Don't steal the backhoe. Blah, 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 blah. This is wrong. And then after that, the ghost was so scared, he just never came back. So, yeah. That's a little glimpse into Chad Daybell's psyche. But yeah, he literally was a gravedigger before this. So, yeah. I mean, whichever way you turn, this case gets creepier and creepier and just creepier. Yep. Eddie the ghost. Talked to him every day. Tried breaking locks. I mean, just come on, man. But if he tried getting a permit to locate a mobile home over the burial site, the application was turned down, maybe because of septic waste and electric. Interesting. Yeah, didn't he ask somebody about pouring concrete in his yard? He might have wanted the concrete poured to be a foundation for a mobile home thing. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. You believe the entire Daybell religion is demonic spirits who contacted him. It's quite possible. Even Melanie Gibb says that in her interview. She says their doctrine was from the adversary. And of course it was very enticing because that's what the adversary does. And I was like, oh, okay. So now we're okay. All right. I'm not going to say too much about what I think about that. But Melanie Gibb, can we talk about her for a second? When I first watched her interview, I remember I wasn't really paying too much attention to this case because Denise was on it. And I'm like, she does such thorough work that I didn't even have to think about the case. Just go watch her video. I know everything I need to know. But she was doing all the legwork and all the research and everything. But she said, oh, look at the Melanie interview. I'm like, okay, who the heck's Melanie Gibb? I didn't even know who she was. So I'm watching the interview and I'm like, out of all the people we've seen in this case, she seems pretty sensible, but she seems really naive and really gullible, right? And of course, she's like, oh, you have no idea. So she filled me in all the background about Melanie Gibb. And then I rewatched her interview through that lens. Like, yeah, all right, I see some things going on. And I watched her interview again this morning after everything that we've learned the past few days. It's like, you know what? Let me look at that Melanie Gibb interview today. And I think Melanie Gibb told us a lot more than she meant to. Okay. In the very first 2 minutes of the interview, Nate Eaton, the reporter, goes, and why do you feel, strong enough to come out and give this statement now? And Melanie goes, well, because I want to do the right thing for those that have passed, for the ones that passed. Charles, JJ, Tylee, and Tammy, and she's naming the names. I'm like, what? So I rewound it. I want to do the right thing for the ones who have passed. Tammy, JJ, Charles, Tylee. I'm like, are you saying what? So I really had to stop and think about that. Because that doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless that was kind of like a Freudian slip. Because at that point in time in May, we had no idea that JJ and Tylee had passed. So it's not for sure. Did she know? Maybe she was just speaking, sort of off the cuff because she certainly seemed to assume that they were gone. She said that several times during the interview. She implied heavily that she thought they were no longer with us. So it could have been that. But man, watching that, I was like, what now? So I paid very, very close attention to the rest of her interview, and I took quite a lot of notes. I'm going to have to do a whole video about that. But she said a lot of things. She talked about the adversary, the demonic influences, the zombies, the prayers, all this stuff. But what I got is that, like someone in chat just said, I'm sorry, I forgot who it was because it was scrolling by, that Melanie really liked Chad. May have been a little jealous of Lori. She was at least smitten by his doctrine, if not him himself. She was very smitten, very easily led. She kind of led along by the nose. And even Nate Eaton was like, well, didn't you think that was weird? Wasn't there a point where you said that's crossing a line? And she's like, well, I thought it was different. I'm like, different? Woman, they're talking about zombies, and they have to go kill all the zombies before the second coming of Christ. And you think that's a little different. Okay. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah. So they were a little different. Was pretty much all Melanie could bring herself to say about that. I don't know, man. I don't know. So I think Melanie, I liked her. Like, she's someone I could sit down and have a cup of coffee with or something. But I think she's very naive and very easily led around, very gullible. She pretty much easily believe a lot of things. So, I'm not sure what to make of Melanie Gibb. I don't think she was involved in any of this very nefarious stuff at all. but she was very close to them. She even tells Nate that she thinks she was the one person closest to Lori and Chad in the world. And she was on Chad's podcast. There are a couple episodes on Denise's channel you can go listen to. Melanie is on there. She even posted a couple podcast episodes towards the end, So yeah, she was very supportive of the work they did. She was involved in the work they did. She hung out with them a lot. She hung out with Lori almost every day. So yeah. Let me read some comments. I really like Melanie Gullible. Yeah, I think she's a genuine person. She has a very good heart, but she's just very easily misled. She's not thinking her way out of this paper bag real easily. But she seemed like the most sensible, nicest person we've heard from in this whole case, So I did have to watch it a few times to really kind of pick up on everything that's going on in her head. A few fries short of a Happy Meal. That's not nice, Jess. But it's funny. Yeah. So yeah, Charlie, it's like she knew all these random things, but she could not see how they all connected and made a bigger picture. It's like, I like this puzzle piece. Oh, and this puzzle piece is fun. And that one's fun. And this one, but she couldn't put them together and say, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Oh my goodness. She couldn't get the mosaic in her head. So poor Melanie. What about Melanie Pawlowski, however they want to say that. Melanie, wife to Ian. That's a fun time. I'm going to turn my camera off just for 1 minute while we talk about this, but I'm still here. Not going anywhere. Stop cam. Okay, Melanie Pawlowski. I don't like this woman. What do you guys think about Melanie Pawlowski? Yeah, she does. Melanie Gibbs just thinks that Chad and Lori they're just deceived, but they're good people. Really? Yes, I'm sorry. I'm having a bad thing. Just don't worry about it. I think Melanie Pawlowski knows everything that happened. I'm not sure she was, herself immediately involved in it, but I think she knows. She did. She looked up to Lori her whole life. She says at one point she was a nanny for the kids. She lived right next door. She moved up there with Lori and Alex. I mean, come on, man. Come on. And if you look at some of the things Brandon said, it all becomes, and remember, Alex Cox, nope, I can't say that. I can assume. My theory is that the random mysterious person that shot at Brandon Boudreaux was Alex Cox, because Brandon identified the green Jeep as the one that Charles had owned before he died. So who would have that? Probably Alex Cox, So why would Alex shoot at Melanie's husband unless he knew that Melanie wanted him out of the way, like Lori did with Charles and Joe? So yeah, I think Melanie knows exactly what happened. And it could even be a case of, like that double jeopardy. She knew that Alex killed Charles. So if she knew that Alex went after her husband, then she could get in trouble too. So it's like, mutually assured destruction kind of a thing. It could be something like that. Or it could be just that Alex was this guy who would do whatever these two women wanted. I'm very sad that Alex Cox is no longer with us. Not because I think he was a wonderful human being that should still be here, but because I want to know what he knew. We'll never get that, and that's terrible. Do you ever think we'll hear any of Ian's wife's audio? If it goes to trial and they introduce that as evidence, we'll hear it. Other than that, probably not. Probably not. But Ian, man, can you imagine this whole marriage to Ian and Alex's marriage to Zulema, these people dated for like 10 days and then married these people. Do you not think that's some sort of arrangement in this whole culty group thing they had going? I mean, it seems like it's got to be that kind of a setup. I mean, is this something that these types, this whole LDS prepper doomsday people, and in their belief system, is this what they do? They marry people within days of meeting them? How normal is that? I hope it's not too normal, but because they also don't like divorce. So, I mean, you'd think you'd be a little bit more careful about getting married. But, you know, so yeah, Melanie marries Ian, and immediately the FBI is on Ian, like, hey, we need you to wear a wire. Go ask your wife some questions. He's like, oh, fun times. Right. So he did, but eventually he told Melanie that he was working with the FBI. She's like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me? He's like, hello. Oh goodness. So yeah, I think Melanie Boudreaux Pulaski, absolutely, uh, and I hope we're going to find out. So that's one reason that when I read the statement released by Alex Cox's family, the Cox family statement, um, that that made me pretty angry. I got to admit, they said the right words, but knowing who it was coming from made me very angry. It was coming from Janice and Summer. Remember them? Lori's mother and sister that we saw in their interview? They were looking a little rough around the edges, but they were very smiley and happy, and the kids are fine. I guess maybe we can't ask about that because the wires are tapped, so we can't ask her on the phone. But Lori was a great mom. She loved her kids so much. Oh, I'm sure everything's fine. All smiley and la la la, and it's like, come on, really, you people can't be real, you know, man. And those people and Melanie and Ian, this is the Cox family. Janice, Summer, Melanie, Ian, and somebody else I don't even remember now. And they're saying, oh, our hearts are really, really, your hearts are all what exactly? Sad that now Lori's going to be in trouble. That's what your heart is. I mean, all of them, all 5 names on that statement. I just realized my mic's far away. All 5 names on that statement have known the kids have been missing since September and have been defending Lori the entire time, saying there's nothing wrong, everything's fine, it's just media. The media's making a big deal out of this. We support Lori, she's wonderful. Really? All right. Anyway, so yeah, the Cox family statement, I didn't like that one bit, and hopefully we're gonna hear more about that. I don't remember if it was Janice or Summer. I think it was Janice said that she talked about JJ on October 1st. Talked to JJ on the phone on October 1st. That's obviously not true, so, the whole Cox family just, can we talk about the fact that Alex, Janice's son, Summer's brother, has killed people? No. Oh, Alex was a good guy. It's just, you didn't hear the Cox family statement? Okay, I'll read it only for Charlene. Charlene, this is how much I like you, that I would force my eyeballs to look at this thing again, because it's horrible. Horrible. It's a new word. All right, where is it? Cox family statement. All right, here we go. Well, I gotta make it bigger. My eyeballs. Bigger. Okay, this is the statement from the Cox family, from Mesa, Arizona, from Janice and Barry. I guess that's Janice's husband, Summer, Melanie, and Ian. The Cox family is deeply saddened by the recent findings in the investigation into the whereabouts of JJ and Tylee. Their love for them knows no bounds. The family has maintained a strong hope and belief that they were alive and well. With that hope and belief apparently shattered, they struggle to find comfort and hope in the potential new reality. They miss JJ and Tylee very much. The family is very grateful to those who have expended so much time and effort in trying to locate them. The family expresses their deep and abiding love for JJ and Tylee. The family will continue to closely watch the developing situation and will anxiously await the pending conclusions with heavy hearts. The family extends their gratitude to all those who express their love and concern for JJ and Tylee and feels the strength of their faith and prayers. All right. That was the Cox family statement. And every time it says the family, to me, I'm hearing like a horror movie kind of thing. The family, this creepy criminal organization of doom. But yeah, that's what these people had the nerve to come out and say. So, I don't know, man. I do not like it at all. Not at all. So, yeah, so that's Janice and Barry and Melanie and Ian. There was someone else I was going to talk about. Who was it? Something else kind of big. We talked about Tyson. We talked about Lori's freakout. We talked about the other murder. We talked about Emma moving. Oh, yeah, Charles Vallow's ex-wife, Kimberly Friedmutter. Now, she was married to Charles before Lori was. I don't know how long before or how many wives in between there were, but at one point, Kimberly was married to Charles. They divorced because she had accused him of infidelity, right? So whatever happened there. But she came out and she gave a statement in public to the media saying, well, if the kids were found in Chad's yard, then that's proof that they killed Charles, that Lori had Charles killed. I'm like, well, that's not quite how proof works, but I see where you're going with this. All right. So this person who was married to Charles all these years ago has been very suspicious of Charles's death, certainly this whole time. So it's interesting to hear a statement from her. What about Colby? We have not had a public statement yet from Colby, which is interesting. I really expected one. He did an interview not all that long ago, right, talking about his mother and her different relationships and how all these stepfathers in and out of his life were and things like that. And he expressed concern and he wanted his mother to cooperate and just tell them where the kids were. But we have not heard from him since this breaking news. So, I'm concerned about Colby. This has got to be hard. Yeah, he was added in their statement, but he himself has not made an appearance, which, now Tylee was Colby's actual sister, or half sister. I think Colby was born when she was married to William LaJoya before she married Joe. So, and he was born before Joe. So unless she was cheating with Joe, I really think William is Colby's father. But, who knows? I've heard it say both ways. I've heard it say Joe is his father, and I've also heard it say that William is his father. So based on the timeline, it looks more like William is his father, and then she just changed his name to Ryan after she married Joe, which is quite possible. So that's where we are with that. All right, so rumor has it that Colby is on his way to Rexburg. He still talks to his bio dad's sister. Joe okay, thanks, Angel. That's what I thought. Because, based on the timeline, it's like she would have had to have been fooling around with Joe for years, if he was Joe's son, because she was married to William at the time. So, Colby is William LaJoya's son. Well, I guess technically he was adopted by Joe, so Joe Ryan is his father. All right, Julie Rowe. What do I think of Julie Rowe? A hot mess is one way to put it. I think Julie Rowe was hoping that Chad believed in polygamy, honestly, or was hoping Lori would just go away and she could have Chad all to herself. Julie Rowe is... Have you heard her stuff? Have you heard her talk? I don't have a lot of fond things to say about Julie Rowe. I totally think she had a thing for Chad. Huge thing for Chad. She I have heard from Julie Rowe in the sense that she said she would be talking to media at some point. But remember, can you imagine her going on Nancy Grace now? Can you imagine? Oh, Nancy Grace will eat her alive. Didn't Julie Rowe say that she had, now, isn't she the cabin vision lady? So that she saw the kids in some wooden cabin or something like that. And she has said some really, really off the wall things, So I would like to see her go back on TV and have to answer for all the crazy visions that she's relayed to the world, you know? Yeah, she loves to talk when no one can prove her wrong and people don't know that she's, a monumental liar. Now that people know, I don't know how much she's going to want to talk. Oh, goodness. Yeah, Charlie, that point, they all had a thing for Chad because he went to them saying we've been married multiple lifetimes ago. Now, Nate asked Melanie directly about that. I said, "Do you think Chad told other women that he was married to them in other lives?" Of course, they call them probations, multiple probations, not lives. And Melanie, you can tell she's very uncomfortable. She goes, "Oh, I don't know." She kind of just shrugs it off like, let's not go there. So that kind of told me that, yeah, he did. He probably was building his little harem, you know? Because, man, I mean, think about it. He and Lori both said on different times that they knew that they had been married in previous probations, but their spouses would understand, that Charles and Tammy would just understand. Really? That's kind of delusional right there. I can see me going to my husband and say, "Well, I met this guy and I was married to him in a past life, so you don't mind if I date him now, right? Because you understand." Yeah, that would go over really well. I don't think so. But Chad and Lori were delusional to think that they would just understand and get on board with this. So I can see Chad having used that as a pickup line. Now, like Jess said, I think Chad had a string of women trailing behind. Absolutely. Absolutely. As we know, especially Jess, you know this, guys like this, they always have their back burner relationships ready in case the one that they have fizzles out. Always, without question. Julie Rowe was probably one of them. Melanie Gibb may have been one of them. Zulema, even. Who knows? Who knows? Zulema is another crazy character who I think was told to marry Alex for some reason. Not sure why, but the Alex Zulema and Melanie Ian thing really seemed like arranged deals to me. So, who knows? It's kind of crazy. Oh, I gotta get comfy. Ooh, oh no, hold on, hold up my headphones. Actually, I don't need headphones because, you guys aren't talking. So I can take these out of my ear, which is good because they hurt. Oh, there we go. Chad is not a good-looking man. He's not a good-looking man. But when I saw the picture of John Pryor, because I was doing some digging on John Pryor and his arrest and all that stuff, they look kind of alike. The only difference is that Pryor actually has a chin, where Chad lost his somewhere along the line. But they look kind of the same, Chad and John Pryor. It's like, whew, that's kind of creepy. But John Pryor, what do y'all think about John Pryor? John Pryor is Chad's new lawyer. We saw his first appearance at the hearing on the 10th. And did you hear about this guy? Chad's new lawyer somehow miraculously still has his law license. I don't know how that even happened. But he went to jail in 2012, I think, for 90 days after he pled down from a grand jury indictment on felony battery and assault, because he attempted sexual assault on a 19-year-old girl who came to him looking for a job and for help with a child custody issue. And the felony indictment from the grand jury would have carried a 20-year max sentence. And that was just absolutely not okay. So he pled to a lesser charge to just get the 90 days in jail and $1,000 fine. Like, ooh. So that's the guy that Chad hires to defend him in court. I'm like, really, why am I not surprised? I'm disgusted, but I'm not surprised. It's like all of these people have this little group and this little sort of Rolodex where they keep each other's names, and all the creepy, slimy people do stuff together. Does it not feel like that? I mean, oh, yeah, feeding it. I can't believe he didn't lose his license either. I really can't. And it's like, you would hire that guy as your criminal defense attorney? I don't even think he is a criminal defense attorney. I mean, need to brush up on that. Certainly Mark Means is not a criminal defense attorney. That's Lori's lawyer. So, yeah. Oh, Michael Bryant, that is inappropriate. Who's Michael Bryant? What do you say? One of the mods get him? I'm not reading all the chat, so if there's something said like that, mods, go ahead and... Oh, wait, there's Michael Bryant. What do you say? Oh, yeah, that's not appropriate. What are you doing? Get out of here. Hide user on the channel. Does that ban him? Okay. Yeah, mods, go ahead and actually, you can take care of people that say stuff like that. Just boot them. You don't need that. Let's see. Means is not prior is... What? I'm not sure what that means. Did you see about the young missing girl murder tied to Chad? Yep, Zelda, I just got her name. Someone gave me her name earlier in the chat. I had heard the rumor that Chad may have been involved in another murder, but I haven't been able to find where that came from. So someone gave me the name. Her name is Kiplin Davis. All right, so I have Googled it, and I've got the pages open so I can go through all that later. She's still technically missing. They never found her body, so that's something to dig into. Absolutely, for sure. If this mess with Chad's arrest can lead to closure in that case too, that would be amazing. Hi Cheryl Lynn, nice to see you. I'm sorry if you came in earlier and I missed you, but hi. The two others in prison won't tell who murdered her. Oh, there are people in prison. You see, I know nothing about that case at all, so I really got to look that up. But that's fascinating. A group of guys from her school. What year did she go missing in? Spanish Fork, Utah. And they say that she died in May 2nd, 1995. How do they know she died if they didn't find her body? Or is it just, presumed dead and declared dead on that date? Yeah, I have a lot to learn. This is a big case, apparently. There's already people in prison for it. Oh, and Sherilyn, I'm glad you've been. I'm sorry I missed you. I'm not all that practiced at reading chat while being live yet. I'll get better, I promise. Presumed dead. Okay, Ginger, thank you. That makes sense. All right, so that's an old case. 1995. So where was Chad in 1995? He would have been pretty young. So yeah, he could have been in high school at the time. Absolutely. So yeah, that's quite plausible. That is, so see, that's the kind of rumor that I like to dig into, because that's got some teeth to it. That's got a lot of investigation into it. That's got facts that we can put together. I like that. That's excellent. Yeah, we'll dig into that. So if you want to talk to me about it, come on Discord. I'm sure at some point Charlene will drop the link to Discord. Let's talk about it. Let's hash it out. Let's research it. Let's see what pieces we can tie together. Because, yeah, if anything good comes out of this horrible, horrific mess, closure to a family like that would be amazing. That really would. Chad was actually investigated for that. Really? Oh, all right. That makes it even more intriguing now. Huh. All right. All right, there's our new job. Gonna look into Kiplin Davis. What a beautiful girl she is. Let me share my screen for a second. StreamYard. Share screen. Share screen. Chrome tab. Kiplin Davis. Share. Okay. Do you see her? Can you see that? She is a beautiful girl. Look at that red hair. So yeah, somebody's saying they solved it, but there's a lot of information here. She's part of the Charlie Project. community. She's also part of the Poly Class Foundation. So yeah, that is definitely something to dig into. So, hi, Michael. Thank you for being here. Very nice to see you. Oh, Michael was hidden. Michael, why'd you hide him? He said hi. He said he loved me. Jess, you're keeping me. He could have been my true love. Jess, I can't believe it. I didn't even see what he said. I don't know why. I saw him say something about, hi, Ewan, love you, or something like that. And Jess is like, nope, my Ewan. Thanks, Jess. You always got my back. Emily, it's so good to hear you, to see you here. I talked to Emily last night on the phone, and Emily, that was such an uplifting moment. I can't tell you how much that meant to me. Thank you so much. What a great time. I'm so happy to see you. Mira says George Michael. George Michael was my true love, but he's not here anymore, so I need a new one, okay? Jeez. My goodness. I wonder if Chad had access to the cemetery. I mean, cemeteries are not the hardest thing in the world to get into, to be honest, so, you know. Expat, Expat Mara over there in chat. That would be my husband, Dave, who's been listening to me talk about my true love, George Michael. Hi, honey. I didn't know you were listening. I'm in trouble now, guys. I just got busted. Yeah, Expat Mara is my husband. Hello, Mr. Awen. How are you? Oh, goodness. That's funny. All right, so we covered a whole lot of these rumors. There's a lot of stuff going on in this case. Now, as you know, here's my feeling about these rumors. Some of them are really, really intriguing, and they're worth thinking about and talking about and discussing and maybe digging into. Like, certainly the Kiplin Davis thing, that is absolutely worth digging into pretty hard. So we're going to hit that one. Some of them, though, you really just kind of like, all right, whatever. Like the Lori threw a fit in jail, whatever. Does it matter? No. Does it impact the case? No, not really. Can we prove it's true? No, absolutely not. So there you go. That's how I kind of approach them. I'm like, if it's something that we could work on and maybe prove and that would impact the current case, then I'm all for it, you know. But none of the... I will not report in my daily update videos anything that I can't substantiate and I can't verify. Okay. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be one of those YouTubers who brings you all the crazy rumors and presents them to you as facts. Say, here, this happened because somebody said it on Facebook. You know, I will never do that. The main reason, now I get fascinated by rumors. I love a good conspiracy theory. I love a good rumor. I like gossip. But that's interesting, but that's not covering a case. All right. And we saw, remember the Heidi Broussard case. All right. Remember how the police had to come out and say, please stop with all this rumor stuff on YouTube. The police specifically asked YouTubers to stop with all this crazy conjecture and all these rumors and all these best friends that magically appeared on YouTube streams. We don't want to do that to the law enforcement in this case. We really don't. We want to support what they're doing. We want to help them maintain the integrity of the investigation, you know, and we don't want to get in their way. So that's why maybe we'll do once a week, we'll do this sort of rumor mystery theory chat, right? Where we can just hash it all out. Everybody can bring their favorite rumor of the week to the table and we can discuss it in this sort of forum where it's not impactful. Okay. Because there's a lot out there. And certainly we do hear a lot of rumors that end up being true. Absolutely. It's not just not true because it's just a rumor, but it takes a lot to verify some of this stuff, you know. Zelda, if that's what you said about the Heidi Broussard case, and you were right. I was wrong. When I saw Sean Carey's interview I was like, oh no. Oh no, that guy is guilty as the day is long. Look at his body language. Look at the language he's using. Look at the linguistic issues. I mean, I was convinced after seeing him on that interview that he had done something. Absolutely convinced. I was shocked to find out that he was innocent. So that taught me a really big lesson. It taught me that Peter Hyatt is full of shit. And I'll say that on a YouTube stream. Peter Hyatt is full of crap. All right. So there, that is my public stance on Peter Hyatt. And a lot of people in law enforcement say the same thing about Peter Hyatt, and I thought they were just being mean, but no, it turns out, yeah, Peter Hyatt's full of crap. It's kind of sad, but there it is. And I felt horrible. I felt absolutely horrible for jumping on Sean. Now, granted, I didn't make YouTube videos saying, Sean is guilty, hang him. Blah, 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 blah. I absolutely did not do that. I talked about my theory and my suspicion with Paul on his live stream, who shared the same suspicion. A lot of us did. Especially after we're all calling him Chris Watts 2.0. After seeing Chris Watts, yeah, I think it was a natural leap for us to think Sean was had a hand in it. But I am so, if I've ever been glad to be wrong, that was it. Because seeing the pictures of him with the baby after they got her home safe, it's like, oh, that felt so good. That was a beautiful ending to a horrific story. But yeah, that's why we got to be careful about rumors, because a lot of stuff got in the way of that investigation. So I think we'll just do it this way. We'll do a live stream. Now remember, because I'm using StreamYard, you guys can come on panel with me. If you want to come on and talk about a rumor that you've been looking at, or just anything, want to talk about how I can fix my hair, that'd be great. If you want to come on panel, let me know. You will have to be able to get in touch with me either through Discord or Facebook or Twitter or something like that, because I'll have to get you a link so you can come into StreamYard. But if you want to come on panel during our lives like this, absolutely just say the word, because that would be fun. It's nice to be able to talk to someone instead of just yapping at my camera by myself. Excuse me. Perhaps was a zombie exorcism so Lori could keep her kids, but then she wanted Chad to herself. So, are we talking about? Yes, my email is amonreesepodcast@gmail.com. You can give that out, absolutely. It's also in the description. I have it, I think, every one of my videos. I've got my Twitter, Gmail, Discord, all that stuff, so you can find me. But yeah. Oh, so yes, having someone come on with me would be fantastic. Hopefully we'll do this. I would like to do it maybe every Friday at 6 or something, maybe every Sunday afternoon, something like that. Remember, this case is going to go on for a long time now, a long time, because we've got the preliminary hearings coming up. Chad's is on June 1st. Lori's is on June 9th, but that may change. They did apply for the appointment of a special prosecutor in the case because now the Madison County and the other county and all this stuff, but the special prosecutor, I can't even say that. The special prosecutor will be able to handle Chad's case and any other case that arises out of that investigation. All right, so we're looking at Tammy's stuff. We're looking at Lori. We're looking at all this stuff. So, that may cause some changes in these preliminary hearings. Plus, the autopsy results will probably be. All right, I'm losing my ability to speak. This is not good. Let me just put the camera back on. Maybe then I'll speak better. There we go. Hi. Yeah, so the preliminary hearings may be subject to change because we are waiting for the autopsy results. Why am I so close to the camera? My God. Once we get the autopsy results in, I don't think they're going to make them public. I really don't. So don't expect that. I think all of this is going to be sealed for a very long time. But once they get that back, that's when I expect to see new charges. And if new charges come up, the preliminary hearings might move. Everything is very fluid with the legal side of things right now. So, but if everything stays on track the way it is right now, then we will be here on July 1st, and hopefully they'll do the same thing they did last time. They'll stream the hearing on the judge's YouTube, which he gave everyone permission to share it. So I'll be able to bring it to you live from there, and we can watch it and talk about it. Do I think that's going to happen? Yeah, say we got a 50-50 chance of that being the hearing date. Certainly, if new charges come up before then, they'll probably postpone that because both sides will need time to present their case. So we'll see. You've tried so hard to feel bad for him, but your gut says no. To feel bad for who? Who am I missing? Barry. Barry as in Janice's husband? Lori's father or stepfather? That Barry? Yeah, I'm not sure I feel too bad for Barry, given who he's married to. Oh, Paula, hi. You have to leave. Okay. Hopefully we'll see you. We'll do this again next Friday. But again, if any breaking news comes up, I'll be here during the week. I'll go live to cover press conferences, anything live like that. So I'll definitely be around. The other thing is I'm going to try and have a daily video up every morning of updates in the case. Anything that's happened, whether it's statements from family or news about people involved in the case or whatever. Nothing really has happened today, though. The only news that's happened today so far, the statement from Tammy's friends and the statement from Charles Vallow's ex-wife. Excuse me. That's all the news that's happened today. But I can put that into a video for tomorrow. I would like to have a video every single morning. So 8 a.m. every morning, a video comes out highlighting what happened the day before in a nice, concise form. And I'm hoping last night's video, when I went to edit that video and get it up, I had to edit at least 15 minutes of audio out of that video because it was not impassioned. It was, or is that the right word? That's not the right word. It was not objective. I was so mad at this Chris Parrott. And I was so mad at the lawyer. And I was just like, this guy, blah, 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 blah. It's like, that's not a very objective way to put this information out there. Awen, stop it. So I kind of had to redo that one. But my daily update videos, I wanted to just bring you the facts. Impartial, that's a good word. I want to bring you the facts so you can look at them and you can decide for yourself what you think of them without throwing my opinion all over the place. Because, that's not the best thing to do when you're reporting. That's what these live streams are for. You can talk about opinions. Anyone think Chad will kill himself so he won't have to face his crimes, his horrible soul after July? Will Chad kill himself? I don't think so. I've known guys like Chad. Not sure they didn't think they were the savior of the world at the second coming, whatever, but they don't generally kill themselves because they think they'll get away with it. Exactly, Jess. Narcissists don't kill themselves. They don't. I don't think so. So that's my thought on that. I really wanted to see the judge schedule the next hearing for July 23rd, just so I can watch Chad's face as he said the date. But he didn't. I was so hoping for that. Please tell him it's on the 23rd. Because Chad might have just laughed if he really believed that July 22nd, Lark. Like, haha, I won't be here. Good luck to you. Oh, man. Oh. Simple. I do think the whole story will be told. I really do. The main reason is because when you have a group of people who have been under the spell of someone for a long time, like Chad Daybell, right? You've got Melanie, both the Melanies, you've got all of these people hoodwinked by his charm and his charisma and his personality and the story that he weaves for them. A very, like even Melanie Gibb said, a very enticing story that he weaves for them. When you get people who are in that state of mind for so long, when they finally are bludgeoned over the head with the truth, most of them will wake up. It's a painful process, a painful sort of reckoning with the truth that they have been deceived and they fell for it and they are sad that it wasn't true. But generally, then they need to talk about it. And they need to talk about it a lot. And they need to tell all of the details. That's part of the healing process, right? And it's very cathartic. I think we're going to hear a lot of that. I think eventually we're going to hear another interview from Melanie Gibb, because she has quite a personal reckoning coming. We'll hear from Melanie and Ian. Not sure exactly in what context, but I'm pretty sure we will. We're probably going to hear from Julie Rowe, because that woman can't keep her mouth shut to save her own life. Zulema, I don't know about Zulema. She's been kind of under the radar. Plus, I think Zulema is a lot like Chad. Okay, I think Zulema is kind of doing the same thing Chad was, as far as using her charm and her wit and her personality to create her empire of fantasy. So I'm not sure we're going to hear from Zulema, but you know. Do you know the LDS leader, Prophet, warned the church members to not have anything to do with Chad's teaching? I did not know that. I did not, but that's good. I know Power to the People put out a statement distancing themselves. Now, Power to the People, they're not a group that Chad and Lori belong to as such. They sort of just hosted spiritual speakers and spiritual authors and stuff like that. They didn't really vet them out so much. It was like, all right, you can use our platform, but that doesn't mean that they embraced or accepted all the things Chad and Lori were saying. So they made a statement saying that, but I did not know that the leader of the LDS had said that. That's very interesting. Yeah, Zulema has a touching healing business. A little too touchy-feely there for me. But I would like to hear from Zulema about why she married Alex. And why did Alex take her last name? That's curious. So, yeah. But Zulema and Lori loved Zulema. They were very close. And I really think they arranged, like, okay, you got to marry Alex because then this will happen. And Zulema's like, okay, anything for you, Lori. I don't think Zulema and Alex actually, hit it off. But I don't know. I don't know. The bishop did not want Lori and Chad to go to temple together. Yeah, Lori and Chad, they technically weren't allowed to go to temple together. In order to go to temple in that situation, you have to meet with the bishop, every 2 years, every year, and get sort of approved to go to temple. You have to prove that you're living the proper lifestyle to even be allowed in the temple. So the fact that Lori and Chad went to temple and had their little ritual was kind of crazy. They acted in a way that was in defiance of the belief system that they're allegedly promoting. That was weird, but they said it was okay because they had their like little like a sealing bonding, not marriage, but kind of a marriage thing. They went and did that in temple, but they did it with a leader from the other side of the veil, so it's okay. Like, for real, come on, just come on, yeah. Yeah, so they sort of got married by a ghost in the temple they weren't supposed to be in, is the easiest way to put that. So, yeah, there's some crazy stuff there. There are people who say there will be at least 2 or 3 other people with charges besides Chad and Lori. I don't doubt that at all. No, I definitely think Melanie, maybe not Melanie Gibb, Melanie Pulowski has a day of reckoning coming. I don't think Ian. I think Ian's kind of an innocent caught up in all this. But then again, we don't know that for sure. Zulema, they got to look at her. So at least Zulema and Melanie have some questioning heading their way, I think. Do you think Chad has a new portal? Oh, goodness. What does Paul call it last night? The portal potty? The portal potty. Yeah, that's it. Do they have a new portal potty? He's got a nice chrome looking portal potty right now playing. Yeah. Julie Rowe. She's got some questions coming her way, But the portal thing is fascinating. I really understood it kind of when Melanie was explaining what it is. It's not a portal that they thought that they could like physically pass through and teleport somewhere. It was more of just like a little sacred area in a corner of a room where you could sit and focus on the other person and try and connect with their energy. All right, that makes sense to me. Now, given my spirituality and my past, I get that. I'm not sure I would call it a portal. I'm not sure I would tell anyone else about it. I'm not sure I had the belief that it worked the way they thought it did, but I get that. I get the portal thing. But, you know, the way that Lori seems to say is, well, I can just portal out of there. Okay. You're still in your jail cell. How's that working for you? I need to refresh your portal building abilities, because, yeah. Portal potty. Yep. Gotta have our portal potties. Yeah, a secret closet prayer place. That makes sense to me, Zelda. I know I was into Buddhism for a while. I was practicing Buddhism, and you have to have a gohonzon, which is a very special thing where you hold your sacred text and all that kind of stuff. And that's where you do your prayers every day with your prayer beads. And it has to be in its very sacred space, right? Your own little thing. I get that stuff. That's that's kind of normal as far as spiritual things go. So I don't think the portal's that crazy. If they were alleging that they could physically teleport through it, then I would say, I'm surprised the court has not ordered their competency evaluations yet. That I mean, come on, man. Think you can teleport around? Bad enough. Lori thinks she was on different planets? Really? Okay, how'd that work? There's so much crazy stuff. And my husband and I were having a talk, and one thing I asked him was like, do you think that Lori and Chad believed all this crap? Or do you think this was Chad's, he was just selling it because he was making money? And so let's just go with it, because if I spin this story deftly enough, I can weave people into my world and they'll spend lots of money on me and I can be their leader. And ooh, won't that be great? That sort of narcissistic high from it. Do you think he believed it, or do you think it was just a game they played in a way, even with their own minds, even if they, talked themselves into believing it? I don't think they genuinely believed it. But then again, I just have a hard time imagining that any human being could genuinely believe some of this stuff. I think Lori wanted to believe it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if she did for real. Chad knew. Okay, Jess, thank you. That's what I thought. I think Chad knew it was just a thing. This was a great way to make some quick cash. You get all these crazy published books up on the internet and sell them. You get to go to conventions and be a speaker. Hi, Wolfpacks. How are you doing? Nice to see you. We are just chit-chatting tonight about some of the rumors and stuff in the Vallow Daybell case, because, boy, there are a lot of them. I'm only doing what Julie said in one of her videos. Said she had been to see the police, seems by their request. Yeah, see, I don't know what to make of anything Julie says. I think Julie is kind of a person that doesn't tell the truth a lot. Let's just say that. Hi, Lauren. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Oh, man. Oh, Wolfpacks, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, if there's anything we can do for you, please just let us know, okay? And by we, I mean everyone here. That all of us know. But we're in your corner, Wolfpacks. Melanie Gibb mentioned that Lori questioned some beliefs. Yeah, she did. She kind of hinted. Well, Lori was. What did Lori say? Well, if he's a Satan, he's a really good one. It's like, well, maybe she was concerned that he wasn't completely on the up and up. But if she would buy into his stuff enough to think her kids were zombies and get rid of them in some manner, then she wasn't questioning it enough, I don't know. But imagine where Lori was coming from when she met him. She was married to Charles. She wasn't happy. At that point in their marriage, they were not happy. So she meets this really charismatic guy who shows her all this attention and is talking about all of these mystic things that are very, very enticing, and just starts telling her, well, we were married in a past life, Of course, she bought into that hook, line, and sinker. She was looking for a way out. She wanted something new, something different, something other than what she had. And Chad gave that to her, so she ran with it. And that feeling when you are infatuated with someone, right? It makes you stupid. Infatuation just takes your brain and throws it out the window and says, bye-bye. Let's just go with this feels good, and we'll do anything to keep that feeling. I think that's what happened with Lori. She had that stupid infatuation to the point where her brain just shut right off, and all she could think about was Chad, and the stuff he was telling her was like, oh, I could be special. I could be, a god. I could teleport. Of course that stuff would be enticing to someone who's miserable. And all she had to do to get it was get rid of her kids, kill her husband, help Chad kill his wife. That's what a small price to pay, huh? I think that's what she thought, that it was worth it. So I don't know if she's thinking that now. All right, let me scroll up and see. I missed what Lauren said. Jess, I would be offended if some guy told me my family was. I would be offended if someone told me my family were zombies too. But I guess to Lori that was flirting. Oh goodness, man. Wolf is lying in bed. Aw. I hope you're at least comfortable while you're here with us, Wolf. That would be good. You can just relax and hang out with us. Do I have pets? Yeah, I have lots of pets. I have 5. No. Oh no, I only have 4 cats now. I said 5 automatically. We had one of our cats put down recently. And that was sad. Yep, like Jess said, we have a chronic illness room in our Discord. A lot of people are dealing with very similar things. So if someone could link the Discord, I think Charlene has. Discord is a free app that you can use that lets you chat. You can do voice calls, you can do video calls, you can do text to everybody in the server that joins you there 24/7. So we use Discord a lot. We have 2 Discords running. I have one, and the main one is the Reporting Live for my sofa Discord channel, where that's where we all started and met and stuff. So, oh, Jess, the new cat. All right, update on the new cat. All right, this is a story. And it's going to be kind of a crazy Chad Daybell story. So, yeah, sorry. There are times I go off on little things like this. But as many of you know, on June 3rd, someone who's very dear to all of us, Denise Rainey, passed away. I did not cope with that very well. All right. It's been a rough time. But only, I think, a day or 2 later, my husband texted me from work saying, I found that he sent me this picture of a cat. I'm like, where did you get that? He's like, well, I took out the trash and the cat jumped out of the dumpster and ran in the store. What am I going to do? It's 100 degrees outside. I can't just leave it outside. I'm like, well, you better bring it home and get it fed and watered and get to the vet and have it checked and all this stuff. So he brings this kitty home, and she is gorgeous. She's got this misty gray, silvery fur. That kind of like you can see it shimmer in the light. It's like, oh, that's beautiful. She was just a gorgeous cat, and she was very affectionate. She would rub her head on your cheeks and just want to cuddle. And I was holding her for a while, and she was perfectly happy until she saw our other cats. She went a little apeshit, to be honest. I guess she is not a cat who has lived with other cats before. She kind of lost her mind. So she lived under my husband's desk behind his garbage can for a day. She did come out to eat and a little water, and she would, if you'd go over there, she would let you pet her and she'd rub up against you and stuff, but she would not want to be anywhere near the other cats. The second day she lived on the windowsill because I don't know if she's an outdoor cat or something, but she wanted out. So she laid on the windowsill all day, but she was still eating and drinking, and she was okay. Meanwhile, I posted on Paw Boost, all the big pet find websites and local websites to say, here, we found this cat. Is it yours? A couple people responded, but it was obviously not their cat. But I was in a live stream with Linda and talking about this cat. I said, I want to name her. I want to name her something after Denise, but I didn't want to call her Denise. That was too soon for that for me. But somebody suggested Rainey, which is Denise's last name. And because of the cat's coloring, all misty and gray, I was like, that's the perfect name. Her name is Rainey. So we named her Rainey. and we're taking care of her. We finally get a vet appointment. We couldn't get a vet appointment right away. Normally, if we take in a stray, the next morning that cat is at the vet because we have other cats that we have to protect. But the vet couldn't see us right away, so we finally get to the vet on Thursday, which was 2 days ago. Yesterday. It was just yesterday. Goodness, that feels like days ago. Yeah, yesterday morning, we went to the vet. And I told the vet, I said, first scan her, see if she's got a microchip. Now, my husband, Dave, was we got to have her scanned for a chip. If she got a chip, then she can go home, because Rainey was not happy here. She did not like the other cats one bit, and he felt really bad for her. As much as I knew she'd come around eventually, she was just not a happy cat. And I'm like, of course she's not going to have a chip. Nobody chips their cats. Come on. Our cat, Merlin, was chipped only because he escaped once. But so we go to the vet, and I tell the vet, do the chip. If she's not chipped, give her all her shots, see if she's been fixed, all this good stuff, check and make sure she's healthy. So the vet said, yeah, she's chipped. And they found her owner. And it was bittersweet. The owner apparently said that she had snuck out a door, and they've been looking for her for the whole time. And that was it. We had to leave her at the vet. But thankfully, the vet didn't charge us for all of that. That was very nice. So the family went and picked her up. Dave called the next morning. This morning, I can't believe it feels the same day. He called this morning and make sure that the family did pick her up, because if they didn't, we would have gone and gotten her, of course. But yeah, they picked her up, and now she's home with her family. So there's a lesson for you. Get your cats microchipped, because there's no way we would have ever known. So, and we put up flyers and everything. Dave put flyers up in the store window around the neighborhood, and I don't know where they lived, but they never saw those. So there you go. But Rainey had a good life here. We only had her for a couple of days, but we kept her safe and happy and fed and watered, and now she's back with her family. So that's good. She would have had a much worse week out there in the Texas heat in the summer. So yeah, that was Rainey. That was a very long story just to tell you what happened to the cat. But yeah, so now we have 4 cats again. Oh, my goodness. I can go on a rant, can't I? All right, check it out in the comments. I haven't read them because I was talking so much. A story about a newly acquired cat that saved your life. Oh, Zelda, you have a YouTube channel. I gotta go see that. All right, we'll get a link to Zelda's YouTube channel and check that out. Are you okay? Okay. My son checking on me. Not used to the door being closed. Yes, we have 4 cats. 4 cats is plenty to have in an apartment, believe me. I do want one more, though. I want a tiny orange fluff ball cat who looks like Crookshanks from Harry Potter when he grows up. I want a little orange fluff ball of a cat. That's what I have my heart set on. And if I'm meant to have one, the universe will put it in front of my husband, because he finds all the stray cats. So there you go. But oh, Charlie, nice. Yeah, I used Pet Boost, and they actually sent the post out on Facebook and all that stuff. And everyone that contacted me was through Pet Boost, so that was really nice. We were able to share pictures and confirm whether it was or was not their cat, and yeah, that was kind of cool. I like that service. But yeah, all right. So we have been here for over an hour. I think we've hit all the major rumors. I can't think of any we left. I'm sorry that my internet is slow and that my picture is so pixelated like that. There's really not much I can do about it. It's just there are so many people home right now using the internet. Plus, I have my daughter on her laptop, my son on his laptop, my husband's on his phone or tablet or something. So there are 4 people right now pulling off my router. So my internet's kind of not doing so good. But someday I will get my own dedicated internet line, and I won't have to share with them. So there. Or I could just, cut off, unplug all of the other computers from the router. So sorry, going live. You can have it back later. But they'd be mean. Harry Potter, Lil. I actually had an argument with someone this morning who tried to tell me Harry Potter was a movie. I was like, you blasphemer, get out of here. So yeah, I love our entire house. We have a Harry Potter house. My son is autistic, and he grew up in Harry Potter world. He grew up with the books. I would read him the books when he was just a year or 2 years old. Certainly the movies, he's watched each one of them 1,000 times. He has almost every single wand. The Noble store has a line of memorabilia from the movie. And I think at this point we've gotten every single wand from that movie. And my daughter made him a wand rack one year. I must put a picture up in Discord or something that has the symbols and Harry Potter text and stuff on it, where he can hang all of his wands. And yeah, Harry Potter is kind of like a lifestyle here in this house. We have the animated sorting hat that talks when you put it on, and everything. We have everything. Harry Potter, everything. Yeah, Mira, you were 6 years old when the first book came out, and you would sit on my lap and I would read it to you, and you would just, it's like you wouldn't breathe the whole time. You were so into that story. But that was an amazing summer. I will never forget that, sitting there and reading her those books. They're sitting on my lap. Linda, you made it. Awesome. You didn't mess up anything, honey. Linda, I am so sorry. I had no idea you're planning on going live tonight. We'll confirm next time. Next time I'm planning on scheduling live, I'll talk to you first to make sure that we don't overlap like that, because I'm very sorry. Gotta go. Yep, Jess, one of these days, my goal is to take my son to Harry Potter Land. There is nothing that boy would like more than to see Harry Potter Land. But it's not financially possible right now. The COVID thing, that changed our lifestyle dramatically. So yeah, here Universal Studios is right out right now, but eventually I will get back there and I will take Mac to see Harry Potter Land. And honestly, I want a butterbeer. That's what I want. That sounds delicious. I don't know what's in it, but I'll take it. Oh man. Yes, I want a butterbeer. Absolutely. What else is going on? A link to, Emily, thank you. Emily linked to Zelda's channel. And she said she has a video in there about a cat that saved her life. I cannot wait to watch that. That sounds great. And Zelda, I'm so glad you've been around. We get to know you now. Hey, Cherie, nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. Oh, yep. Now, Linda, do you want to come on for a minute and talk about what's happening with the virtual rally and give it some promo, or are you tired from yours? I would love to have you come on and talk about it. I can drop you a StreamYard link. Let me get that. Linda, if any of you don't know her, is very big in the Making a Murderer community, and they have a virtual rally coming up soon, which is going to be fantastic. Virtual rally, because of the COVID thing, it's just not safe to do an in-person rally. The last thing we need is Ma and Pa Avery getting sick. My goodness, can you imagine? That would be terrible. So the rally is virtual this year, and it's going to be on the 20th. Linda, I sent you a link in a Discord, so if you want to come up and promote that, that would be awesome. Ghost Stories, Bobby, you got to get me and Linda going on Ghost Stories. If you go to Denise's channel and Linda's channel, we did a couple around Halloween, really spooky ghost story type live streams. Oh, they were so much fun. They're so much fun. Okay, Linda says she is beat, which I don't blame her. She just had a live stream. So let me tell you, I'm going to look at, and I'm going to share your post that you put on Facebook. Linda, where's my Linda? Let me find Linda. Yeah, the virtual rally is coming up, and I support this event 100 million%. Oh wait, what does Dahlia DiPolito say? 5,000%. Okay. I'm just going to share the screen cap. I don't want to share their video. Let me share my screen. Hold on one second. Here we go. All right, there's the image. You can see the Justice Rally, June 20th of 2020. Here for us in the U.S., it'll be between 11 and 4 p.m. In Britain or the UK, it's going to be 11 to 4 p.m. And in Australia, 11 to 4 p.m., but all local times. All right. So you can go to Linda's channel. Linda, can you drop a link to your channel into chat so people can find it? All the information is going to be there. Actually, if you look in the description of this video, you will find a link to Linda's channel. I linked to Linda K listening. So it's in the description. Just hop over there. You can get all the information. And this is a rally to support Brendan Dassey, Stephen Avery, their families, and this really horrible miscarriage of justice. So rally's going to be a great time. All right. And also check out all Linda's other videos. She's covering 2 cases, Making a Murderer, and then the Linda, I can't remember his name, the $50 million bullet case that I know about the case. I just suddenly can't remember his name. But yeah, check Linda's videos out. So yeah, that's about all that's going on. I want to do this stream again. Oh, Wolfpacks, I hope you feel better and get some good rest. Okay. So yeah, I want to do another live stream, maybe every Friday or every Saturday or every Sunday. We'll pick a day, find the best time that's going to work for most of us, so we can talk about the rumors in a way that's not like promoting them as fact. All right, because we got to dig into this stuff. Yeah, so can we send you a few $1 million? Yes, please. Sure. Yeah, I don't have no problem with that. Send some to, send them to Linda. If you're talking to Linda, maybe she'll share with me. Go ahead, send it to Linda. Oh yeah. So next week I'll be here live, maybe Friday or Saturday. I don't know. We'll talk about it and I'll plan it and get it scheduled ahead of time so you'll know ahead of time. And during this week, all right, if there's any breaking news, I'm expecting a press conference with a formal identification of the children. I don't think we're going to get an autopsy results kind of press conference, but I will cover that live. Anything that happens with Chad and Lori or anyone else is arrested, I will go live as soon as that news breaks. So hit the notification bell if you want to stay on top of that stuff. Every morning, unless absolutely nothing happened, every morning I'm going to try to video up by 8 a.m. with all the news from the previous day. So you can just have a quick catch up every morning. I'll try to keep them 10 minutes or less so they're nice and short and concise. So I'm going to stay on this case. I'm working on some history videos. Certainly going to be looking at Melanie Gibb and Zulema and Ian and all of these people. Probably each going to have their own video with their story where they fit into the timeline and all of their connections. Because I'm telling you, I need to take one of my bedroom walls and start doing that pictures with string sort of thing. That's how convoluted this case is. It's crazy. But I'm going to start breaking it down for us all in video format. And just watch. There'll be a lot of content coming about this case because it's crazy time. But yeah, if you look in the description of this video, links to the important channels like Linda's channel, Paul's channel, Denise's channel. If you're interested in the case, please go to Denise's channel. Her videos are amazing. Lots of good stuff on there. And my email, Discord, Twitter, Facebook, all my social medias are in the description. So, zombie time? Oh, we didn't even talk about zombies. How do we get through this whole thing without really talking about zombies? But yeah, zombies. There is a zombie emoji. I suppose I could type it. Zombie. Oh, no, I can't type it. I'm not clicked over. Yeah, Miranda, do the zombie emoji. It's cute. I thought there was one. Maybe there isn't. Yeah, that's all that's going on, folks. Thank you so much for being here. This was like my first chit chat live stream that I've ever done. The other ones this week were just news stuff. So this was amazing. Thank you so much for all the support and everybody showing up and chatting with me. Remember, for next week, get your rumors lined up. And if you want to come on live stream, reach out to me on Discord or something. So I'll have your link and I will send you a link to the live and you come on and talk about it with me. And Jess, I need you to be better like now. So get on it, man. Because, yeah. Lauren, thank you. I know, Lauren, you had wanted to come on and talk. I didn't see you earlier. So maybe we'll get in touch and we'll plan that for next week. So if I get you the links and stuff ahead of time, make sure that we can do that. And let me know a time that's good for you, too, so we can do that. Daybell and Vallow thought the kids were zombies. I don't think they burned them. I explained that earlier in the video, but they did seem to think they were zombies. So can I play that song on your live stream, the new Rumor Mill? I don't know. It depends because you can't really play music on a live stream because we'll get in trouble for that. But I don't know. Unless I don't know who did it or what song that is. So, yeah. So, yeah, Lauren, reach out to me. Click one of the links in the description and get in touch with me that way until I'll have your contact info. And we'll plan that for next week. All right. So, unless there's any breaking news or something else crazy happens in this case, I'll see you back here in about a week, and we'll do this again. Thank you for being here so much, everyone. Thanks to all the mods, Emily, Charlene, Linda, Jess, all of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support more than you can imagine. So please hit the like, subscribe, ring the bell, whatever. And have a donut for me. Please, I need a donut. So y'all go eat donuts. Good night, everyone. I'll talk to you soon.